I'm Coach Koran, Godwin, Jumpstart Hoops TV. Download that app. Welcome back to the Coach Godwin Show. I'm your host, Coach Koran Godwin, all-time leading scorer at the University of North Florida. Also, author of Everyone Hates a Ball Hawk, but They All Love a Scorer. If you're not listening to this via my basketball training app, just search Coach Godwin, Godwin, in your Apple, iPhone, iPad, or Android app store. And there it is, free of charge. You got tons of drills and information that's going to take your game to the next level. Now today, speaking of the next level, we're going to talk about the Kobe Bryant work ethic, okay? I was listening to Kevin Eastman, who is a well-known speaker and coach. He's actually an assistant coach for the Boston Celtics, and he goes around the country. He does a great job of giving coaches quality information that's going to help their players. And one of the things I liked about Kevin Eastman is he's a seeker of knowledge, and just like me, he just loves to learn. And he had the opportunity, of course, to speak to Kobe Bryant outside of the season, so to speak. And he talked to Kobe, and he said, Kobe, everyone talks about how hard you work, tell me about your workouts. What do you do? Because Kevin Eastman wants this knowledge he can pass on. And Kobe goes to him. He says, I don't work out. And Kevin Eastman says, well, what do you mean you don't work out? Like, everything I read is that you're a madman. You're the hardest working man in the NBA. You set the standard for workouts, and then, you go on the USA trips, and everyone comes back a different guy just from seeing the way you work and how you got to where you're at. So Kobe replies, well, I don't work out anymore because today's players are too athletic, and these guys are really catching up to me. He said, so I had to take it to another level. He said, I don't work out, I black out. And that statement just hit me hard, because it's like, wow, if you know anything about blacking out, it means when you go outside of yourself. People use it, usually it has a negative connotation, and the guy blacked out and he did something crazy. But in this situation, what Kobe is trying to say is he didn't literally black out, or it doesn't work until you black out, but he works until. And those of you who follow the podcast and my show, that until philosophy, I'm going to shoot until I master this mid-range jump shot. I'm going to work on my footwork until I master this step back and my ability to get separation. So what Kobe was telling Coach Eastman is that I don't work out anymore. I black out. He said, I got to work until. And he gave Coach some things that I'm going to talk to you about today. And this is a philosophy. I mean, whenever you're talking about the game of basketball and you're seeking information, obviously you're listening to my podcast, so you're someone that wants to learn more about basketball, you got to take everything in. So you take things from all angles, from what Kobe's about to say or what I'm about to tell you said, and you got to really look at his work ethic and his desire to be the best, because that's where it starts with. If you don't have that passion or desire to be the best, then you're not going to do any of the things that I'm about to tell you that Kobe told him. So he talked about, okay, if you don't work out and you black out, well, how do you black out? Meaning, what's your workout regimen? So Kobe told him, he said, early in the morning, I hit the track. It's number one. So you got to understand, the track represents conditioning. So not that all you guys said, I got to find a track, or I don't have a track, or I don't have a treadmill, or whatever. Well, wherever you can run, around your neighborhood, wherever. The purpose is he gets up early in the morning, around 6 a.m., and he's out there working on his conditioning. And you can't do anything. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you want to reach your potential, you can't just be a guy that says, okay, I got game, I got this move. You can't perform any move. Your crossover, your ability to knock down jump shots late in the game, all that is predicated on your conditioning. So that was number one on Kobe's list. Number two, he said he hits the weight room. And this is one of those topics that a lot of basketball players, some of them have trouble with. And I'm going to tell you one thing, when guys come to recruit you, it really doesn't matter how skilled you are or how good you are if you don't fit their size requirements, because each level has a size requirement. All right, so you want to maximize your the way you look and your presentation to these guys, because there's tons of guys that I can tell you right now that were in All-American camp. Steph Curry, he was in Nike All-American camp, and he was seen by all the coaches. All right, and even though he was just the most skilled guy, and I feel like, obviously now he made it to the NBA, so he could have made it to that level. They didn't feel at the time that his presentation or his size was to the point where he can bump at the Big East level or bump at the ACC level or Big Ten level. Okay, so those guys aren't always right. You got to be as skilled as possible, but you got to work on your body. And that's what Kobe's talking about, because he's saying these guys are younger and more athletic than me now. I'm no longer that young pup going through the lane dunking on everybody. I can do it, but it takes a lot more for me to do it than it does them. So you got the conditioning first, you got the weight room second. So make sure you're concentrating on getting in that weight room. All right, you're working on your strength, your core strength. You're working on your legs. You're doing your squats, pull-ups, bench press, all that. Get with a good strength and conditioning coach, and try to go ahead and invest in yourself and in your body, because it will pay big dividends. You want to have the total package, whether you're going to college or the NBA. You got to have the total package. All right, number 3 is shooting. You got to go to the gym and get some shots up. At the end of the day, the game is about putting the ball in the hole. I mean, it's really as simple as that. The team that can score the most points wins the game. All right, that's the rules of the game. And defense does win championships. But what does defense mean? Defense means that we're going to hold in the less points than what we have. That's all defense is. We're going to get stops, okay? So he's in there shooting, and he's in there perfecting his jump shot. And how long is he shooting? He didn't say. It's until. He shoots until he feels like, he mastered that particular shot or that particular move, okay? Which leads me to the next point. And this is probably my favorite part of the conversation between Kevin Eastman and Kobe Bryant. And that's that he doesn't care who he learns from. He just wants to learn it. I mean, how brilliant is that? I mean, I can't tell you how many times, I've been around players that just felt like they knew it all and that they were beyond something. And one of the things that stood out is Kobe said, I can watch a high school game, and if a kid makes a great move, he said, I'm going to steal it. I'm going to take it. He says, I don't care who I learn from. I just want to learn. And that was mind-boggling, because, you look at Kobe Bryant, like, look, you're the best in the game. One of the best to ever play the game. And here you are, you're willing to take information or steal a move from a high school kid? It doesn't matter. And he talked about, stealing moves, and he says, whenever he gets that move, and Kobe Bryant's a lot like I was when I was coming up. I taped everything. You guys have DVR, and your DVR should be full. If your mother isn't complaining about the amount of college basketball that is, or NBA basketball that's DVR'd and filling up her actual storage space, then something's wrong, because I have tons of tapes. All right, in 80/20, I talk about studying film. I have tons of tapes in the back from all different types of games. And Kobe Bryant, as you may know, he grew up in Italy. So, he had to tape these things in order to try to get a connection and steal whatever Michael and Magic was doing. So that's the kind of thing I did. I would tape the games, and I would go back and play them, and then I would perform those drills. A lot of you follow my videos. I may do the Kyrie Irving drill, the LeBron James drill, the Ray Allen drill. All right, probably going to have a Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan drill coming up. I'm doing the drills because I'm trying to teach you what made me a great player and how to still, moves and different aspects of people's game. All right, I'm trying to teach you that. So I actually do it for you. All right, you actually see the drill. You see the person performing it, and then I turn it into a drill, and then you can perform it, and now you have that person's footwork or whatever move they did. So that's what Kobe's talking about here. He doesn't care who he learns from. He just wants to learn it. And that's the most important part of what he said, and this is what I want to seek in. That's the Kobe Bryant work ethic right there. And one of the other tidbits he says that was very, very important, is that he was basically saying that if you want to be a great player, you have to learn to see the game from the coach's perspective. And that's one of the things that he did with Phil Jackson and the triangle offense, something that's very difficult to master and learn from. You got to go back and watch Michael Jordan tapes, look at his positioning, his footwork, where he shot his fadeaway from, where you get shots from in the offense. You have to see things from your coach's perspective. I'm a coach, and I have tons of plays that I run, and some of them, you get to throughout the year. Some of them you just hold, for whatever situation is best. But if you can see the reason why we implement these plays, it's going to make you a better player. I have a play called Space. It's actually a set. Now, Space, there's a reason why I named it that. It's because I'm giving you space on the floor. I want you to be able to see the angles and see the driving angles and everything to be right in front of you. So everyone is spaced out, and we have different cuts to the basket and different rules that you learn in the space set, which turn into different plays. But you got to see things from the coach's perspective and not just a player perspective. All right, it's not just your spot. You got to know where everyone is on the court. Okay, so that's the Kobe Bryant work ethic. As you said before, he doesn't work out, he blacks out. All right, he's all in. It's 100% in. He's going until. All right, we're not talking about blacking out. Literally don't want anybody working out until they're falling out and have to go to the hospital. That's not what Kobe Bryant is talking about. He's saying work until you master it. Saying you guys make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you're going hard, but don't be silly out there. All right, take care of yourself. Okay. It's more about being efficient in your workouts and what you're working on, and that's why I have so many drills and DVDs and information for other people too, that you can utilize to make sure you're efficient in your workouts and you're working on more than one thing, especially some of my multi-skill drills. Okay, that's today's show. I hope you learned a lot from Kobe Bryant, because I did, and the formula remains the same. God first, work hard. See you at the top.